I do think there's some real concern from folks in our party that this administration doesn't have a plan to deal with radical Islam, and they won't even call it radical Islam. And so if the only alternative at the moment is this other alternative, you might see some people that say, we'll take that. But they don't think that President Obama is getting the job done.
Why is that phrase so it's funny. I listen to every Republican candidate, and when you ask them, well, what would you do about ISIS? Because let's be very honest here. That's not an easy answer, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that it's not an easy answer. But what is an easy answer is, well, the first thing is I would say the magic words of whatever it is, radical Islam, whatever the phrase. Why is there such focus on that phrase? Is it simply because it's an easy, concrete response?
Well, I think it's important that people feel like he understands what the problem is. And if he's not willing to address that the problem is a very radical ideology, it's a religious ideology, and some folks that are willing to give their own life in order to take other people's lives in the name of their religion, it is important to identify that that's what the problem is. I don't know. By contrast, I don't see what the problem is with the president acknowledging it.
Well, was George W. Bush wrong not to use that term?
Well, I don't know that we were in that we had the same realization back then that we have today. Certainly
after
there were
9/11?
issues, but today, well, you know, after 9/11, it was not necessarily a sense that this was a global thing that was happening on every street corner.
Katie,
this was something
you're saying this is a scare, that we have a better realization of international jihad now than after 9/11?
Realization 15 years later, after we've seen people get shot in movie theaters
as opposed to 3,000 Americans murdered?
I'm not talking about the number. I'm talking about the instances in everyday life. I mean, we didn't have people 10 years ago flying planes into every cafe on every corner. 2 weeks ago, we had, you know, people just sitting enjoying coffee at a cafe in Paris and having guns pulled out on them. And so it does bring it a little bit closer to home.
We have a problem. There are beliefs coming into this country that do not coincide with our constitutional rights, our amendments, our Bill of Rights. And if their beliefs are complete opposite of what we believe in and how we function in this country, then it does not belong in this country.
How do you think that would work at the border? You know, if people that
I want the wall up. I want the wall up on the southern border. I want the walls up on the northern border. This country, we have to protect we the people. And I will support Mr. Trump when he becomes president. It's we the people that will back him up and get this country back on its 2 feet and be a strong country, a strong nation, a nation of people that are wonderful.
Not a total Trump diehard necessarily.
No, but I'm supporting him, and I'm supporting what I believe he meant when he said, you know, ban Muslim immigration. You know, I don't believe he's a racist. I think he was talking about, you know, we need to step back and re-examine the vetting process and get it right. We're getting it wrong. People are being killed in America, you know, and it's going to get worse before it gets better unless we stop what we're doing wrong and start doing it right.
So you think it's Trump just being smart in this circumstance?
I do. I don't think he meant all, you know, he wasn't tagging one religion and saying banning an entire religion. I don't think he meant that.